Hey everybody, so for some warnings going up ahead in this chapter, there will be a lot of mentions of violence, of unconsciousness or going unconscious, also mentions of a dirty environment as well. A lot of arguing included in this. This is slashers after all. It is what to expect. Some bloodiness and child death slash murder that will also be mentioned. Also, mentions of stalking. Yes. Perfection. If you guys are not comfortable with that, please do not watch this video. You have been warned. Hello everyone. So if I'm speaking a little bit quietly, I do apologize. I do have a pen in my hand, so it's kind of like sleepy right now, so I kind of can't, express too much loudness. And I will explain the pet later, but for now we will continue the story. So basically, we are not in chapter 16, we are in chapter 17, but for the purpose of the recap, we are in chapter 16. So as you guys know, long story short, we spent our time doing Halloween stuff and decorating and etc, spending time with Mikhail as much as we could. And you guys were currently on the sofa watching a movie with a bowl of popcorn, and everything was just so romantic. Long story short, to just kind of like skip all through this, they were, loving on each other, like, in words. And then they finally motherfucking kissed. I know. I was so surprised about that. But they eventually had to stop because it was so cute. But it was a cute moment. I'm not going to lie. But eventually, sadly, we had to go to sleep. And we asked Mika if he could clean up. And he was like, sure. And then as we were on our way to our room, we saw Norman and Hannibal. Obviously, Hannibal is trying not to show his jealousy because apparently he saw what took place. Apparently, Norman didn't, but I think Hannibal did. And basically, she ended up giving them both kisses and hugs to wish them good night. And it was kind of cute, I'm not gonna lie. And anyways, as soon as we went to the door and we opened it and we shut it and we were inside and we shut the door, we looked and we were frozen. Cause what we saw was surprising. And we're about to find out in the next chapter. Now, we are officially in chapter 17. Stolen Sweetheart. How did you get in here? You hesitantly questioned, your back hitting the bedroom door as your heartbeat sped up. I wonder. The sinister clown hummed creepily, standing in the middle of your room and smirking at you smugly. Okay. You uneasily responded, thinking back to your previous encounter with Pennywise and growing on edge. Is this a joke? And then, oh goodness. Okay, so this is like the past of when we first encountered fully Pennywise, and we were just talking to him. He was talking back and forth, etc, etc. This is when we officially met him. Okay, so now back to the present. So, why are you in here? You asked awkwardly, shifting your mind back to the present and wondering how to handle this predicament. What do you want from me? What do I want? Pennywise echoed mockingly, his facial features twisting into a sly grin while he purposely pretended to mull over your question. Although your eyes widened at what you saw on your way back. Okay, so this is, hold up. Okay, I had to make sure it wasn't a past. Although your eyes widened at what you saw on your way back, you could see him. You could see this Pennywise character shifting through the woods and shooting you dark grins. You brought it over your earlier thoughts and gripped the door handle tightly, pondering whether or not you should stand your ground or attempt to run. He cooed wickedly, moving right in front of you and grasping you by the chin. Open that door and I'll kill you, cutie. Faster. You're the one who splashed that blood all over me? Aren't you? you accused coolly. Trying to remain calm, Woodsy glared straight into his gleaming, golden gaze. I might have been. Pennywise taunted with a manic laughter afterwards, your fear levels rising when you heard it. But it was just so funny. No, it wasn't, you argued back bravely, feeling a surge of courage while you used your other hand to curl around his wrist and force it away from your chin. That wasn't funny at all, you son of a bitch. Aw, don't be mad, he sweetly teased, his tone mischievous as his glance glinted with dark intent. Your fear was tasty, tasty, tasty. Beautiful fear. Did you just call my fear tasty? You asked in an anxious voice, not appreciating his words in the slightest and instead feeling apprehensive by his remark. This isn't real enough for you? I'm not real enough for you? It was real enough for the other girl. What was her name again? Betty something? Pennywise innocently mentioned, acting as though he was still amused by his previous kill. What do you even have to gain from pursuing me like this? You questioned sharply, wanting an actual answer from the killer clown. After all, you never really gave me a true explanation. Want to help me find out? The monstrous murderer chipped in casually, still flashing you that smirk and clutching his dangerous-looking knife. Because Betty did, although I have to admit, she wasn't all that interesting. What did you... Before you could even finish your upcoming question, Pennywise lunged forwards and forced you to become unconscious, this childlike entity becoming very entertained by your behavior. Besides, the clown had much bigger plans for you than these 5 useless killers did. Hey, has anyone seen YN around? Norman called out into the living room curiously, holding his arms tightly against his chest as he tried his best to stay calm and collected. I thought she went to sleep by now. Hannibal mused over said topic, looking up from his book whilst he swiftly thought, is she not in her room, Norman? No. The timid male shook his head with a dejected expression, looking depressed by Wine's sudden disappearance. Why would she say goodnight and then randomly vanish? Easy now. The psychiatrist soothed Norman in a polite manner, also growing curious by her strange departure. Wine's not that rude. She wouldn't have left without saying anything. Well, then, where is she? If she's not in her room, and she's not in the house, something's not right. Miguel scribbled to Hannibal fiercely, acting overprotective over Wine now, too. I'll try calling her. Meanwhile, Norman, I'd like you to search the house again. As for you, Miguel, if you wouldn't mind checking Crystal Lake. Hannibal gave the other specific things to do while he pulled out his cell phone, clearly wanting to figure this conundrum out. Giving a curt nod, Mikael left the living room and silently headed towards the camp, becoming incredibly concerned over Wine's safety as he tried to remain relaxed. I bet Kruger knows, Norman suggested suspiciously, narrowing his eyes while he continued conversing with Hannibal. It is possible. He's not above pulling such a sneaky maneuver after all. The intelligent man thought aloud, taking the idea into account and calmly considering the possibility. Hey, Kruger! Norman called his name hatefully, crossing his arms and flicking his head to the side as he resentfully waited for the dream demon to appear. A minute or two passed before the sadistic slasher materialized in front of him, the malicious killer being extremely pissed off by Norman's random snap. What, bitch? I hate this. Freddy darkly growled, glaring at him with a moody dislike. I was right in the middle of fucking middle of something. You liar. Oh, shit. Norman argued angrily, stomping his foot and losing his composure completely. What were you jealous again? The hell you even talking about? The demonic male shot back sharply, swiping the living room's wall with his metal claws and flashing Hannibal in an enraged expression. Norman, please. As much as I supported your previous suggestion, I really don't think Kruger knows anything about Wine's present whereabouts. After lightly placing his hand on Norman's shoulder, the psychiatrist shook his head and defended Kruger with a regretful smile, hating how he was forced to take the other killer's side. Why the fuck would I? Freddie demanded to know in a hostile tone of voice. I've been in the goddamn dream world. Then where is YN? Norman wailed unhappily, tears pricking at the edge of his eyes whilst his panic increased. Will one of you two fucking idiots please tell me what the fuck is going on? Freddie violently ordered, furious by the fact that he was left in the dark. I'm afraid Wine's vanished off the face of the earth. Norman wildly cried aloud, interrupting Hannibal and instead becoming insanely hysterical. I highly doubt that. I'm sure she's gone back out or decided to visit one of her friends. Hannibal rejected Norman's idea patiently, resisting the urge to roll his eyes at the other male's remark before turning to face the dream demon once more. I sent Michael to check Camp Crystal Lake, to see if she simply dropped by. He should be back any minute now. Though, when the killer slipped back through the front door and entered the living room, all he did was shake his head. Ooh. Chapter 18. Agitated Argument. What do you mean she's not fucking there? Freddie questioned in frustration, holding his knifed hand out and glaring at Miguel threateningly. I'm assuming he meant exactly what he said, Kruger. Hannibal chimed in with a condescending attitude, releasing a weary sigh as he placed his hand against his forehead. In fact, this doesn't actually seem all that surprising. What are you talking about? Norman asked anxiously, holding his arms together while he looked at the others with nothing but a troubled expression. Think about it, the intelligent psychiatrist cleverly pointed out. Before YN supposedly disappeared from her bedroom, she was seeing incredibly strange things, from covered in semi-realistic blood, all the way down to speaking to the very dangerous clown by the sewers. And I don't know if you've noticed, but her behavior's gotten slightly more unstable lately, don't you think? Wine has been a little on edge recently. Norman trailed off uncertainly, biting his lip as he suddenly grew alarmed. Wait, what if it took her whilst we weren't paying attention? It is a possibility. Hannibal thought out loud, seriously. Norman's previous words forcing Freddie to completely lose his temper. Excuse me? He furiously snapped at him, the demonic male's left hand curling around Norman's throat and slamming the other slasher against the wall forcefully. And just why has she been more on edge recently? Acting fast, Miguel shoved Freddie away from Norman and flung him straight into the living room table, not caring in the slightest of either of their frustrations. Michael, Kruger, Norman, all of you, please calm down. This aggravation isn't gonna get us anywhere. Hannibal reprimanded in a serious voice, ignoring the random act of violence and instead deciding to give his particular problem some more thought. How can I possibly stay calm when Ryan's gone missing and Freddy's just slammed me against the wall and it's freaking on the loose? Norman cried out aloud hatefully, glaring daggers at Freddy before complaining almost immediately. Both of you, shut up. We need to focus on YN right now, not each other. Mikael fiercely scribbled on his well-used notepad, holding it up so everyone could see. Myers is right. I think the best thing to do at the moment is to find out YN's current location. Hannibal spoke finally. After all, once we discover her present whereabouts, we can figure out what's going on and why she would suddenly disappear in the middle of the night. Oh yeah? And just how are we supposed to do that, huh? Freddy lashed out, climbing to his feet and gritting his teeth with the utmost of hate. Well, I was assuming, with what your godlike powers and such, that you would have been able to telepathically reach her somehow. Hannibal angelically remarked, slightly throwing shade. He's like, throwing shit at you while I'm at it. Oh, excuse me. Slightly throwing shade while he behaved somewhat smug towards the dream demon. I can't. Freddy angrily retorted, his body giving the occasional twitch as he debated on whether or not to attack Hannibal next. It's like she's taken Hyposil or something. I thought you son of a bitches had... Figures. Some people just aren't as powerful as they claim to be. The smart killer shook his head and released a second sigh, his voice now dripping with sarcasm, while the other slasher grew even more pissed off by him. Do you want to fucking die? Freddy hissed back at him viciously, because trust me, I can make it happen. Not particularly, Hannibal nonchalantly answered, folding his arms and wondering with what the four of them should do. I just presumed you would have kept a closer eye on her, considering how possessive you normally act. Shame. I could say the same fucking thing, Freddy darkly retaliated. There's 4 of you bitches, and yet you still managed to let that pathetic little clown slip through the cracks and seize. We don't have time for this, Mikhail wrote as he attempted to stop their childish argument, his handwriting now looking incredibly messy. Well, what are we supposed to do about this? Tears streaked down Norman's face, the dark-haired male not having a clue on what to do by this point. We can't find Ryan's location, we can't find where it is, and the worst of all, there is one thing we can do. Hannibal interrupted, calmly coming to a conclusion and creating a plan as fast as humanly possible. And that is... The dream demon coldly inquired, continuing to glare at them with uncaring intent. We could always check Dairy Main, Hannibal mentioned patiently, managing to stay relatively calm and collected while the other 3 slowly grew stressed. So if it has taken Ryan, it wouldn't have taken her very far. It'll just take her down into the sewers. What the hell are we waiting for then? Let's get going. Mikhail wrote in a firm manner, brushing past Norman and heading towards the front door. Hold on. Hannibal stopped the stalker by the shoulder and tugged Mikhail back a bit, staring him down sternly. We don't know for sure that Wine's there. She could always be around her friends or... No, she's not. Freddy snarled in a sharp-tongued tone. Like I said earlier, idiot. I would have been able to find her by now. Something's fucking wrong. So let's go to Derry then. Norman wildly panicked, sliding with the other 2 instead of the psychiatrist. We need to find her, and fast. And I'm not disagreeing with you about that, Hannibal casually stated. All I'm saying is that we shouldn't jump to conclusions and pick a fight with a creature who's billions of years old. Chicken out all you fucking want. I'm leaving, and I'm leaving right now. The dream demon retorted venomously, his rage reaching its peak whilst he ignored the other 3 and vanished into nothing but thin air. Honestly, Kruger can behave like a child from time to time. It's unbelievable. The psychiatrist shook his head once again before finally giving in, sharing eye contact with both Mikhail and Norman. Still, despite his juvenile behavior, I suppose Freddy does have a point. If he can't reach Ryan or her inner thoughts, then something's not right. Derry may be our only solution to this somewhat distressing and disturbing dilemma. Finally, come on, let's go already. We don't have time. Mikhail practically threw his notepad in Hannibal's direction and quickly left the living room. Wanting nothing more than to hunt his obsession down. Now. I agree. Norman stuttered with wide eyes, following in Mikhail's footsteps as he became worried sick over the person he looked up to more than anything. If Wine's in any kind of danger, I'm not just gonna sit around and let her suffer. Once again, Norman had agreed. Hannibal stifled a sigh and hid his emotions well, leaving their house while he curiously dwelled over what could possibly be happening down in the sewers of Derry, Maine. Alright, y'all, so he is in chapter 19, Killer Chaos. Your head pounded with pain. Your stomach swirled with a feeling of sickness. Your body absolutely freezing. Shivers ran not only down your spine, but throughout your entire figure too. Where were you? This isn't home. Your eyes fluttered open as you slowly came around, lying on some sort of soaking wet, dirty ground. Ah, so that's why you felt so cold. But
Then why were you down here? Didn't you say goodnight to the others? You thought back to your words from earlier and grew even more bewildered, remembering exactly what you said to Hannibal and how you behaved towards your 3 special partners. And then just this is the past where she was talking to Hannibal right after going upstairs, right about to go to bed and everything. And then also travels all the way back to her encountering Pennywise in her room and him kind of attacking her and taking her somewhere unknown. What did you... The others. Oh, fuck, the others. Swiftly scrambling to your feet, you shook your head and rubbed out your arms dazedly, trying your best to think of a plan. What would your significant others do? Jason would probably randomly slash at trespassers with his trusty machete. Mikhail would stab his enemy with his sharp kitchen knife. Freddy would solve his problem via slaughter. Norman would listen to his mother and Hannibal. You bit your lip and frowned, growing confused by said conundrum. What would Hannibal do in this sort of situation? You knew what he was, what he did, what they all did. So why are you so scared? Oh, holy shit! You shrieked with alarm, jumping back a step or two after noticing someone who had just materialized right in front of you, gazing at you with his tremendously unstable grin. There it is. Pennywise widely laughed, his grin stretching into one of horrifying hunger. There's your beautiful fear again. So... He paused for a moment to rip his entire face off and reveal a monstrous form instead, causing you to release an insanely loud scream. Time to float! The creepy clown shouted at you wickedly, his words making you turn around and run without a second thought. Just leave me alone! Oh, hell no. You sobbed in a scared tone, skidding around several of the sewer corners while you tried to escape this hellhole. I don't want this. I don't. Where are you going, YN? Pennywise cooed after you crazily. Come join the kids. You'll float down here. We all float down here. Yes, we do. God damn it, leave. You tearfully yelled, losing your mind as your breathing became heavier and you lost all your composure. You had composure earlier? But then, all of a sudden, you stopped in your tracks, stunned by what was in front of you. No, it couldn't be. There were dozens upon dozens of kids, all floating in the air, twirling around each other anonymously. Those kids, they're floating. You whispered to yourself weakly, trembling whilst your eyes widened to the size of saucers. A moment later, you broke down, petrified by Pennywise and how he was holding you up in the air via your throat. Got you! He giggled in a high-pitched voice, smirking as you struggled against his grasp with both of your hands, coughing. You should really focus on being faster next time. The others will come for me. You desperately threatened, wanting to scare him whilst your heartbeat spiraled out of control. Just you wait. Oh, will they now? Pennywise retaliated angelically, because somehow, I don't think they will. I think they left you all alone. I bet they've left you to die all alone here, too. No, you argued back anxiously, worrying over the others as you struggling weakened. They would never do that. So stop trying to mess with my head. But why you? I wonder. You're just a filthy little child, just like the others. The clown cruelly carried on, his massive mouth opening up once again and showing 3 very strange lights. I'm not. You try to fight back, but your body fell limp. Those bright orange orbs sapping the energy straight from your soul, whilst your hands dropped from his iron-like grasp. I'm not afraid of you. No? Pennywise darkly chuckled, his tone and expression changing from mischievous to menacing as he watched the life drain from your eyes. Don't worry. You will be. And just what the fuck is this bitch doing here? Freddy demanded to know hatefully, glaring at Jason with an unfathomable amount of hostility. Aren't you supposed to be back at camp, little boy? The Crystal Lake Killer glared straight back resentfully. Loathing the Dream Demon whilst he joined the group and gripped his blood-stained machete. Wine is missing. Jason growled in a worked-up tone, stomping his foot and trying his best to ignore Freddy's insult. Yeah? Well, that's none of your concern. So just go back to the lake and drown already, hungry puck. This spiteful male sneered, jealousy flowing from his voice as he attempted to send Jason back home. Mommy said it was okay, Jason snapped in return, furiously swinging his weapon at the burnt killer and losing his temper in the process. Shut up, Kruger! Norman joined in childishly, sounding frustrated while he tried to force Freddy to leave too. We don't need you in the group either, so just go away. Oh. And who made this little shit the head of the group, huh? The Springwood slasher jeered towards Norman nastily. A sadistic smirk spreading across his face, when his finger knives tore through Jason's clothing and sliced sharply across his chest. Obviously aggravated by how long they seemed to be taking, Mika grabbed Freddy by the throat and held him up in the air, clutching his trusty kitchen knife without any sort of regret whatsoever. Oh, what's wrong, Myers? The psychotic dream demon turned his attention towards the silent stalker and faked a sorrowful pout, pretending to look sad. You want some of this, bitch? Before Mika could react, the smug slasher slammed his metal finger blades into the other male's side, causing Freddy to himself to be dropped, and so Miguel stumbled, his rage increasing with every single second. I hate you so much. You have no fucking idea. As if you even care about YN. Not as much as I do. The pale-faced killer scribbled bitterly, his eyes practically gleaming with a desire for revenge. Nobody cares about YN as much as I do, Norman selfishly declared, all four slashers fighting by this point. Yeah? Why don't you prove it then? Fucking sissy. Freddy responded with a condescending laugh, not taking Norman seriously while he took a few steps towards him and away from Michael. Everyone stop now, Hannibal ordered sternly, sighing as he stepped into the heated conversation. We don't have time for this. Derry's right ahead, and besides, Wyan might need us. She's in danger, remember? Your pointless fighting puts her life even more at risk. The psychiatrist's strict words stopped their fighting almost immediately, the four killers glancing at one another coldly whilst they all thought about the real issue. Then the group continued moving swiftly through the town, searching frantically for one thing, and one thing only. YN. Honestly, you just need to spray them with water and be like, hello, we're in danger. Hello, like, the fuck? Did you forget? Oh my goodness. They just think about their anger and not even about us while we're literally stuck with a 1,000-year-old clown. That's probably already, like, we'd probably already be dead if it wasn't for our stupidness. But honestly, I'm surprised we're not even dead, even with our stupidness. I'm really shocked, you know. Chapter 20. Derry, Maine. There it is. Derry. Main sewer entrance. Hannibal told the others in a nonchalant tone, raising his hand and pointing towards an underground tunnel. That's most likely where it's taken YN. What the fuck are we waiting for then? Freddy asked impatiently, striding straight forwards. Wait any longer and she'll be complete and utter goner. She'll be a complete utter goner. What's wrong, Kruger? Norman coldly taunted, narrowing his eyes and glaring at him without any hesitation whatsoever. Afraid you won't be able to rescue her in time? I hate to interrupt, but the four of you should be informed that the water you're about to step in is gray water. Hannibal mentioned innocently, his last remark causing the two of the four slashers to stare down at the ground in complete confusion. Gray water? Jason repeated curiously, not understanding the psychiatrist's words in the slightest as he tilted his head to the side. It's basically just piss and shit. The dream demon cut across Hannibal with a shrug, clearly not caring as he waded through. So we're wading through the people of Derry's pee? Norman bit his lip and hesitated, obviously feeling awkward whilst he questioned their actions. Gross! Jason childishly complained, crossing his arms and huffing like a little kid would. Don't be such a baby, Voorhees. Freddy mocked the Crystal Lake killer maliciously, his mischievous tone purposely trying to pick a fight. Or are you not as good as you claim to be? Stop it. That stupid clown wants to divide us, to distract us. We're running out of time. Come on. These tunnels are like a maze. Miguel wrote on his notepad roughly, practically shoving it in their faces and forcing them to calm down to some degree. Yeah. Just shut the fuck up, stalker. Freddy rudely responded, rolling his eyes and instead just pushing the pale-faced male's reply back into his face with annoyance. No, Miguel has got a point. Hannibal sighed in despair, pressing his hand against his forehead as he attempted to pacify the situation. If we keep arguing like this, then we'll never find our beloved YN. Don't you four realize that? Well, where on earth could it be hiding then? Norman fretted frantically, clutching either side of his head while he grew even more alarmed. For all we know, Wyan could be dead. Shut up. Jason snapped at Norman with a stern voice, giving the younger male a resentful push and hating him even further, due to the death comment. You shut up! Norman darkly retaliated, tears of hate pricking at the edges of his eyes as he decided to clench his fist. You two are acting like children. Stay here if you want, but I'm leaving. Miguel scolded unfeelingly, brushing past them and deciding to head straight down into the sewers himself. I swear, the moment I get my hands on YN, that bitch will be dead. The Dream Demon muttered sulkily, sarcasm flowing through his tone whilst he scrapped his metal finger knives slowly across against the side. Remind me why YN enjoys dating you again? Hannibal shook his head at Freddy's sadistic statement before acting completely condescending. Because she's not a stuck-up whore like you? Freddy fired back feistly, the psychiatrist's superior comment striking a chord and therefore aggravating him. Where could YN be? Norman desperately wailed, the five of them waddling through the murky water and resuming their research. I'm not one for making guesses, but if I had to, I'd assume the main tunnels. Hannibal mused over said topic thoughtfully, coming to a somewhat logical conclusion and trying to keep everything under control. The main tunnels? Jason questioned in bewilderment, not understanding where on earth Wine could be and deciding to stop directly in his tracks. Yeah, retard. God, you're so slow. Freddy viciously retorted, spinning around to face him as he lost his temper. Fucking hell. Why does she enjoy spending time with any of you is beyond me. You're the worst. Freddy snarled in response, despising the demonic killer with an intense desire to kill said enemy. Freddy, Jason, not here. Hannibal stepped in firmly, sending them fierce looks and shaking his head. Besides, Warren could be an insanely high amount of danger. Bruh, she's probably dead. How much, guys, you talking but not doing enough. That's what I'm saying right now. So, Freddy glared at Hannibal for a few moments before rolling his eyes and ignoring them both, reverting back to his arrogant mindset 100%. Whatever. He spoke with a smug smirk. I don't need you bitches to tell me what to do anyways. With that, he moved in the exact same direction that Mikael had. The stalker, having listened to Hannibal's previous words, comment almost immediately. Which way are the main tunnels? Norman turned towards Hannibal hesitantly, worry flashing across his facial features while he tried his best to remain relatively calm, for Wine's sake. Keep following us and you'll be fine, Hannibal calmly answered, taking note of the burnt male's footsteps and leaving the two of the others behind to make their own decisions. Come on, Jason, let's go. Norman stammered with an anxious voice, quickening his pace and increasing his speed. Wine might need us. His comment caused Jason to let out a low growl and grip his machete even tighter. The child-minded killer not enjoying the thought of his previous possession being tortured due to the lack of protection he'd given her. If anything happened to her, it would be his fault. He should have known that the other four would be unsuitable partners for her, that they wouldn't have been able to keep an eye on her, and that, most of all, she needed him. Suppressing the urge to behead the younger male, Jason pushed past him and gritted his teeth, rushing to catch up to the others. Norman followed behind, and eventually the five reconnected, the dysfunctional group teaming up once again. Surprising. I certainly didn't expect you all to show up like this, the clown commented casually, amused by how they were all standing next to one another, and certainly not together. Wyan? Norman called her name in complete and utter shock, his eyes wide as he suddenly spotted her. Wyan, oh my god, Wyan! What's wrong with her? Norman, don't. Remember who we're dealing with here, Hannibal murmured, placing his hand on the younger killer's chest and clearing his throat, trying to appear respectful. We have somewhat of an alliance with one another, that's all. How is she in the air? Norman panicked wildly, grasping his pocket knife tighter and staring at Wyan with despair. An alliance? Pennywise's gaze glinted with an interested expression, the killer clown appearing entertained by the other slashers. Now that's an intriguing notion. And it's also none of your fucking business, bitch. Freddy hatefully interjected, holding his gloved hand out and threatening the clown right off the bat. How is she in the air? Jason questioned coolly, worry washing through his tone while he entered the current conversation. Mikael, of course, didn't speak a single word, staying silent like usual as he glanced up at Wyan too. Are those the missing kids? Hannibal interrupted Norman solemnly, standing in front of the four other slashers and instead taking charge of the somber situation. Floating. Alright, y'all, so I'm going to read one more chapter. For now, because I'm already kind of like recording this in multiple spots. But anyways, chapter 21, Evil Encounter. Yes. It's one of my many talents, Pennywise mischievously mentioned, shifting into his darker form after seeing Freddy hold his weapon out. After all, I am the eater of worlds, am I not? Not to us, you're not. You're nothing but a clown. Norman bursted out angrily, gaining a sudden surge of confidence as he took a step forwards. Norman, don't. Hannibal grasped the dark-haired male's shoulder and stopped him from moving any further, murmuring gently into his ear, "This is what it wants, remember?" "Just let me grab her," Norman heartbrokenly begged, tears glistening at the edge of his eyes whilst he gritted his teeth with the utmost of frustration. "Please! She needs us now!" "Relax. She'll be fine. I'll handle this." Hannibal reassured him soothingly, acting strangely sincere as he carried on speaking to the sadistic clown. "What is there to handle?" Freddy hissed at the psychiatrist stubbornly, following Norman's lead before slashing at the other side of the sewer wall. "We already know this is what the son of a bitch stole from us." "Excuse me?" Pennywise half laughed, finding the dream demon's comment to be partially funny whilst his golden orbs glinted with evil amusement. "You'll have to excuse him. We're not here to start a fight, believe it or not. We're simply here to retrieve our partner," Hannibal politely explained, attempting to gain control of the situation and calm it down. "She went missing earlier this evening, and we all grew slightly concerned." "So that's why you come? Because of one human girl?" The clown casually wondered, curiosity dripping down from his tone whilst he ignored the demonic killer completely. What's wrong with her?" Jason demanded worriedly, clenching his machete and glaring at the playful monster with a furious expression. "Why, whatever do you mean?" Pennywise wickedly responded, his gaze now overflowing with hunger as he looked at her himself. "She's so perfect. Like I've previously stated, we're not looking to start a fight. All we want is to take Wyan home with us, and that's it." Hannibal patiently continued, wanting to appear unruffed and unthreatening. "I mean, she's not like the others, this girl. She's different. Even when I used my gift on her, she didn't descend into madness. No, not like all the other children. The clownish killer informed them with evil excitement, releasing a laugh of pure insanity as he became almost infatuated by his new discovery. "Oh, she's different, all right," Freddy sarcastically muttered, rolling his eyes and tightening his grip on his right hand. What is it that you like about her, then, if I may be so kind as to ask?" The pleasant psychiatrist inquired in a civilized manner, placing a hand on Mikael's chest before cautiously shaking his head. "Oh, everything," Pennywise creepily answered, his expression twisting into a more obsessive one. From her secretly festy attitude, all the way down to her beautifully tasty fear. "I swear to God. And she's pretty cute for a mere human, too, you know." He drawled out devilishly, noticing how frustrated Freddy was growing and flashing him a superior look. The smug smirk, of course, set the infuriated Dream Demon straight off the edge, the burnt male releasing a sound of pure rage and lunging right at the other slasher. Pennywise, faking a yawn, disappeared and reappeared with a blink of an eye, purposely messing with Freddy he was plainly anticipating a fight. What he wasn't thinking about, however, as how he'd taken on 5 slashers all at once and stopped them from taking back what they so clearly wanted. Still, though, they were having trouble against him, Pennywise managing to land a hit on Jason, Mikael, and Norman in a span of 5 minutes. Thinking fast, Hannibal pulled Freddy discreetly aside and told him the plan, to use the other 3 as a diversion. Think about it. He wants to distract us by taunting us, by forcing us to focus on him instead of her. Hannibal spoke in a low tone, spilling his plan as he pointed out the obvious. "You can't let him. We don't have time for that. Get your hands off of me," Freddy furiously ordered, dragging his blood-stained finger knives down the intelligent man's shoulder without a second thought. "Don't you understand? He wants us to fight amongst each other, to sidetrack us in any way, shape, or form he can. Are you willing to let him win that easily?" Hannibal coldly replied, resenting flowing from his voice while he tried his best to get the other killer to see reason. "Don't even start with that shit," Freddy snarled with hatred, turning his attention away from Hannibal and towards all the floating missing kids. "Now, why won't you wake up?" said the psychiatrist, mused towards Wyan thoughtfully, mulling over this particular problem over in his head as he watched the Dream Demon use his telekinesis abilities to get her to stop floating. "What is happening? What is it that happened to you?" A few moments passed whilst Freddy held her in his arms, studying in an intense and oddly rare expression. Then his fury faded, his facial features conforming into a naughty grin. "Clever," he purred psychotically, piecing it together and finding what Pennywise had done to be extremely funny. "Very clever. You think you're really smart now, don't you?" "What's wrong, Kruger?" Hannibal sternly asked, shooting the opposite slasher in terribly serious stare as he held Wine's freezing cold hands in his and gave them a gentle squeeze. "What's the problem?" "Let her go!" Norman panted fiercely, managing to land a hit on the killer clown and use his knife to slice across Pennywise's chest. "Let her go now!" "No!" Excuse me. That was bad. "No!" Pennywise shrieked at the 5 unstably, noticing how Freddy and Hannibal had safely brought her down from his collection and now were holding her. "I'll take her. Then I'll kill all of you, as I feast on your flesh and feed on your pathetic fear, or..." He paused a few moments later, acting insanely imbalanced. If you just leave us be, I will take her. Only her. We would never agree to that." Jason roared in a raging fashion, swinging his machete to prove his point and attacking Pennywise once more. Paying no attention to him whatsoever, Pennywise dodged Jason's simple swing and resumed fighting. Only this time, he aimed for Freddy, tackling the springwood slasher to the ground and forcing him to drop the unconscious human girl. "You're not the same," Pennywise noted all of a sudden, puzzled by his random realization. "You're different from those 4. "So?" Freddy retorted maliciously, shoving the clown away from him and giving it his best shot to slam his blade straight through the opposite killer's heart. What of it, bitch? You don't live on Earth, yet Earth is where you were created. Fighting back, Pennywise pondered over this, the clown growing curious as he swung a knife right into the dream demon's side. You have powers, but you weren't born with them. They were given to you. After seeing how curious the clown was over him, another ignorant grin spread across Freddy's face. The devilish male healing the severe stab wounds with just a wave of his gloved hand. Let's just say that this is God. Okay, fool. Okay, I like that. Anyways, what do you think is going to happen in particular to Wyan? What exactly do you guys think what do you guys think Freddy found so interesting of what Pennywise did to Wyan's comatose state-like form? Please let me know in the comments down below. And before we get completely ended to this, we got a thing or two to do. Let's get straight into we're gonna be reading creepiest chats ever. Before we start, link will be in the description down below along with the author's username, so you can go check them out and their other stories if they have any. And yeah, we're reading chat 2. This does not connect with any other chat unless I let you guys know in this video. All right? Cool. Chat 2. Imagine yourself as Rachel, a girl who's traveling across the country to meet her boyfriend and join his college. Rachel texts bold, Danny's text normal. So we are Rachel, Danny is our boyfriend, and he lives across the country. So, yeah, that's what we know. Keep this in mind, please. Rachel, this is not one of my paranoid things. I'm telling you, someone is following me. Danny, baby, we've talked about this. Danny, that doesn't make sense. I'm the only one who knows you're driving across country. Who could possibly be following you? Rachel, you swear you didn't tell anybody? Danny, I swear. Just throw on some tunes and relax. You'll get to campus in 2 days. Rachel, I've stopped at 3 different gas stations, and every time the same red truck has been parked there. Danny, lots of people drive red trucks, babe. Rachel, no, not like a generic red truck. It's an old, beat-up, faded red Chevy. It has a big dent in the fender. It was the same truck. Danny, so? Maybe someone's on the same route as you. That doesn't mean they're following you. Rachel, Danny, I saw it driving behind me twice. And every time I changed lanes, it did too. Danny, who's in the car? Rachel, I can't tell. It stays far enough behind, and all I can see is an outline of a person. A guy, I think. Danny, what about at the gas station? Danny, who pumps the gas for the mysterious truck? Rachel, it never gets any gas. It always just parked with no one in it. And stop making fun of me. I know what I saw. Danny, I'm not making fun of you, Rash, but you are such a hypochondriac. I don't know what the hell that means. And prone to paranoia. Sorry. I mean, remember when you thought your dead dog was trying to communicate with you? Or when you had Ebola? Or you thought you had Ebola? Or that Principal Briggs had a thing for you? Rachel, he looked at me funny. Danny, he's gay. Super gay. She rents out. Rachel, look, Danny, I am really being serious. Danny, baby, you're just nervous about starting college. I was freaked out too. Trust me, it's going to be fine. You always wig out when you get nervous. Rachel, I don't know. Danny, trust me. Where are you now? Rachel, I'm in an Airbnb. This lady has all these little bug allows she rents out. It's actually super cute. Danny, see? You're fine. Just chill. Rach, hello? Rachel, oh my God! He's here. The red truck is here. I just looked out of my window and it's parked right next to my car. I'm not staying here. He's out there. He won't leave me alone. Danny, baby, please. Just relax and drive. Rachel, you're 1,500 miles away, Danny. What if he kills me out here on the road? Danny, that won't happen. You're tired and you're working yourself into a frenzy. Please believe me, no one is following you. Rachel, how do you know? I left the bungalow and I thought I lost him, but he just popped in my rearview mirror. Danny, now? He's behind you now? Rachel, not now. I turned a corner and now I don't see him. But I know he's out there. Danny, okay. Just keep driving to the next hotel that you see. You can get a room and then call me. Danny, I really don't like you texting and driving. Rachel, I'm doing talk to text. I always do that. Rachel. Plus, there's no hotel for another 50 miles. I'm in the middle of nowhere. Danny, I had my dad run the car description you gave me. He's on night duty at the station. I'll let you know if he finds anything. Oh, Rachel. Oh, good. That makes me feel better. Maybe there's a local sheriff out there that your dad can call or something. Danny, let's wait and see if he finds anything. He hates calling in favors unless he has to. Rachel, he's back! Danny, help! He's right behind me! Danny, what? Rachel, oh my god, he's right on my bumper! I'm going to crash! Danny, Rachel, drive! Just focus and drive. Keep your eyes on the road. Rachel's typing. What's happening? Danny, what's happening? Where are you? Rachel, Danny, I'm so scared. I swerved off the side of the road and he just drove right by me. I can't breathe. Danny, are you okay? Rachel, yes. What do I do? Oh my god, what am I going to do? Danny, it's okay. He's gone. It's going to be okay. Rash? Rachel? Rachel, are you there? Rachel, he's back, Danny. Oh my gosh. That is fucking emotional. So that was interesting. Let me know what you guys think happened to Rachel. Cause remember, back here she literally said that I swerved off to the side of the road and he just drove right by me. And she hasn't responded, and then she's saying he's back. So did she drive right back on the road and kind of just, went, like something like that? Or who do you think this guy possibly could be? A double banger? A random person? A stalker? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, because honestly, this shit scares me. This is why I wouldn't drive by myself in the dark so far, because I would literally cry if I saw someone driving so close to me and trying to crash into me and stalking me. I would literally fucking cry. I would literally cry. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. And no, there's not a part 2 for this. I triple checked. No part 2. This is just one thing. And this is just based on your theories of what might happen. So, yeah, it's what I think happened. Either she somehow got off where she swerved, quickly got back on the road and drove as fast as she could while texting or calling him. Because honestly, I would call him or video call him to let him know. Or she got out of the car if it didn't work and started running away or something like that. So yeah, because we don't know what this person looks like. All we know is that there's a person there because there's a shadow of a person, but we're not sure. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Anywho, I do hope you guys did enjoy this so far. Honestly, it's getting pretty interesting with the slashers one, because Pennywise, Pennywise is being Pennywise. I honestly am curious on what the heck Freddy was so interested of what Pennywise did. I think it might describe it maybe a bit more, maybe in the next chapters. I'm not too sure. If it doesn't, make up your theories. I'm interested to hear about them. And I do hope you guys did enjoy this though. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more amazing videos, guys. It's just I'm so sorry. I'm just thinking, I keep stopping and keep thinking to the story, because I'm still trying to make my own theories about this. But I'll probably comment my theory on this chat 2 thing in the comments down below if I figure something out of what I think might have happened, because I already told you what I think might have happened, but I'm not too confident about them. I'll let you know in the comments down below if I feel any confident about them. But also, guys, remember that the link to this story and the fanfiction that we are reading currently in the series are both in the description down below, so don't y'all worry. Anyways, sadly, your girl's gotta go. I do hope you guys have an amazing day / Halloween. Stay safe. Don't do drugs. Don't eat anything that look sus, and check your candy if you're gonna go trick-or-treating. Anyways, I love you guys. Bye and peace.